A lot of my stories here were just kind of. I have a really big one that I've told on my stream before, and it's really okay. I guess the story is kind of twofold. Number one, I hate to admit it. Listen to your parents sometimes. Sometimes when your parents say that they don't like a friend, it's not because your parents are jealous. It's because your parents can like
story. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I had a friend, a best friend at the time. She was a few years older than me, than my flesh woman. And we'll call her Kay.
Okay.
And Kay, basically, once my hostess friend had left, we needed a hostess. And this job as a hostess is easy. You get a beautiful, from the company, you get a beautiful Donna Karan dress.
What is that?
Every 6 months. It's like a brand that you just wear to work. It's a wrap dress. It's gorgeous. And then you just wear nice little flip-flop. Well, not flip-flops, like nice shoes, the beautiful dress. You seat people. You take their name reservation. Sometimes when the restaurant is really busy, you'll help clear the tables a little bit or wash them a little bit. But, you know, we had bus boys as well. Like you weren't a bus boy, but you still had to like, and such an easy job. You had dental, medical, which is crazy for a restaurant. You got discounts at the store.
What?
You had amazing working hours. We tipped you out. Like amazing job.
Wow.
So anyway, even before I got this friend the job, I was still crying in the fridge. Even before I got this friend the job, my flesh mother sat me down and she was like, hey, I really don't think you should recommend your friend for the job. And I said, why? Like she's a hard worker. And my flesh mother again was just like, she does not like you.
Oh.
And I remember being like, what do you mean she doesn't like me? She's my best friend. Like, what do you mean she doesn't like me? So anyway, I got her the job. Everything's fine. And then what happened was, so this was my closest friend. So after the job, we're together. I tell her everything. And like, so I have like a few stories mixed in. So basically there was a bartender that wanted the waitressing position because she would make more money. And she didn't have any waitressing experience because she had moved on from being a busgirl to a bartender. So I got hired. And her and I, just so we're clear, this girl was like very put together, prim and proper, everything. And I am chaos. I just walk in, everything breaks, but somehow I get stuff done. And I got hired. And she basically did not like me from day one. And she was very honest about it. She's like, I don't think you should have had this job. You don't know how to do anything. I should have had the job. She was very open about it. So sometimes on Friday mornings, I would have to open with her. When I tell you that I would be done with my opening, she would be done with her opening, and we would sit on opposite sides of the bars and fold napkins because we had to fold napkins and cutlery, and not a single peep would be said between the two of us. Ooh. Because she did not like me and I was intimidated, and like she was just, you know, anytime she could have a jab at me, she did, which ended up there's anyway. Dang. So yeah. So then at one point we devised a strategy, her and I. We both didn't like each other. We both didn't want to spend time together. Friday mornings at that place were empty because a lot of the rich housewives, it was a mutual.
Can we also devise a plan for us?
Please. Well, that's what we're doing, right? So on Friday mornings, the store would be empty because all the rich housewives would not be awake early enough to go shopping. So basically our plan was, if any customer comes in, if it's a coffee or whatever, I'll do it. If I'm at the, or if it's just a table, she'll serve it. If the boss comes up, we just cover for the other person. Oh, where is, Matara? Oh yeah, she just went to pee. Oh, she went to her locker to put her phone away. Oh yeah, like she went to go call her mom. If it gets busy, we text the other girl, come back immediately. Like we did not like each other, but we both wanted to be away from each other. We would take turns.
Interesting that you were like covering and caring for each other, but not liking each other.
I'm telling you, I think in my life, my friends have hurt me more than my like quote unquote enemies. Because with enemies, you know where you stand.
Yeah, well, I mean,
but with friends, like you don't.
That's so strange that this she was just like, look, you got this job, you got it. Like you shouldn't have gotten it, but you're here. Like she didn't even try to sabotage you to like not have the job.
And you know the worst part? She sucked as a waitress. Yeah, of course she didn't get the job. Girl is slow as hell, doesn't know any wines, doesn't know any pairing, doesn't do her read. Like, she'd get the menu and be like, she'd go to me and be like, Matara, can we cook the filet mignon medium rare? Yes, girl, we can. What kind of question is that? Like, she didn't know, like, so,
okay.
like that was on her stuff, you know. See, she anyway, so then what we would do, so basically when this would happen, right? Let's say the restaurant got really busy, I would text her, be like, come back. Or if the boss started being like, hey, I haven't, you know, I came back before she wasn't here, we'd instantly be like, come back. So because of this, between let's say between like 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., I got an hour, she got an hour. Because, you know, the friends and I would go out on Thursday nights. Friday morning, I'm tired, maybe a little hungover. So I would go into these big bathrooms that we have. They were private bathrooms, so you had like one person in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, I know
and they had like chairs. They had you know the story. And I would put
pretend
my
I
phone
don't, though.
alarm. Yeah, just for the. I would put my phone alarm on, and I would put my head to the wall and nap for 30, 45 minutes, whatever. Hell yeah. I mean, hey, you know.
It's not the ideal place to nap, but you know, a place to nap is a place
but
to
where
nap.
people would find me otherwise.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I can't publicly nap somewhere. The clients would report me or like people would find me.
So how long are you setting your alarm for?
30 to 45 minutes.
Okay, 30 to 45 minutes. Okay.
And I have my phone on loud, so if she calls, like, you know. So obviously I tell my best friend this. I'm like, oh my God, girl, haha.
Yeah,
and then
the
I
best
go on
situation.
yeah. So then at one point I like got into an argument with one of the waiters because one of the waiters, him and I sometimes we would like get into arguments. So there was 4 waiters, 3 guys and me. My gay bestie who ended up being my best friend for so many years to come. 1 guy and then this guy who's French. And this guy and I, like, he's French from France. That's when you know we were arguing.
Oh, no.
And him and I just would always like nitpick at each other. But he would pick fights with a lot of the girls. So that's just like a him issue. But he would, like, I don't know what it was about him. He would pick fights with the girls all the time. So at one point, him and I like were arguing about something. And like in front of everybody, he just goes like, yeah, why don't you go sleep in the bath? Like, he's like, you know what? I'm done having this conversation. Go sleep in the bathroom like you always do. Which is such a strange thing to say. Like, how does he know?
Yeah.
And then, you know, instantly I'm like, oh, what happened? And I was like, okay, does the bartender know? Because she could tell him, but she doesn't know. She just knows that I take an hour break. I have never told her. I would never give my enemy this ammunition against me that I sleep in the bathroom for an hour.
Yeah.
But that kind of started happening, and I was like, this is really weird. How does he know? Obviously, I denied. I was like, you're insane. I was like, go back and like, you know, basically I was like, go back like and do whatever you do at home. Like I think he was like trying to be a DJ. I'm like, go back home, like drink your beers and do your DJing. Like whatever. Listen, I was younger and we were.
Nice
I was trying to clap back and it was yeah.
He told you to sleep in the bathroom and you're like, yeah, well maybe you should go the DJ or something, bozo.
It was really because you have to understand. I was floored. Like he knew my secret. He knew and when that happened, I was like, I probably accidentally told the bartender that doesn't like me. I probably one day accidentally was like, girl, gonna go take a nap. But I didn't. So this happened and it's weird. So stuff goes on. And like at one point I noticed because we had a lot of workers from the big like shopping mall that would come to eat, and they had these little pre-prepared meals that they could get. It was really smart of the boss to do this where like they can get like a soup combo with a coffee or things like that, and they would kind of get in and out very quickly and eat. And some of them that like I would talk to all the time started treating me a little bit weird. It's one of those things where it's not just intuition. I'm sure people can relate. If people suddenly turn on you and start treating you different, you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell there's something. They will deny it, but you can tell. So anyway, at one point, I had a really good relationship with my really good waiter. We'll call him B. Okay.
B.
The waiter that like ended up being my really close friend. And even now we're friends. He just moved really far.
Okay.
So B at one point was like, hey girl, let's go get lobster rolls at the place we always go. Cause sometimes after work, we'd like get lobster rolls. And we sat down and he was like, hey girl, we gotta talk. I was like, what's up? And he goes, your friend Kay is not your friend.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what is going on? And okay, this is how beautifully life worked out. He was roommates and really close friends with the barmaid. And they were roommates. But he was already kind of like feeling off about their friendship. And she was so mean to me at work that once she moved out, he was like, I'm done being her friend. Like, and
Dang.
he even told me, he's like, I just, like we've been at work, we're just coworkers, but then like seeing how she treats you and you're always smiling through it, like you don't even care. And then seeing how your other friend treats you, he was like, I don't know. He was like, something in me was like, I need to tell her.
Good.
So he sat
good
me
friend.
down and he was like, your best friend, quote unquote, when you were, because I went on vacation, I think to Vancouver. He was like, when you were in Vancouver, she told us, and he told me everything. He was like, she told us that when you called in sick, that you did this, that when you did that you did this. She told us, like, and he was saying, like, I cannot even, again, a lot of this stuff was so personal and private that I tell now you understand why I'm so private with my stuff. Now, like, I don't want anybody in my business now because I basically had like my quote unquote best friend, like tell my business to like random employees at this giant store. Yeah.
Oh my
And he even
God.
said it. He's like, it started off with like, she was kind of making fun of you for sleeping in the bathroom or this and that. But then it turned into like, she basically, it was so crazy because basically I had taken a few days off and he was like, she basically told us that like on the anniversary of your dad's death, when you asked for days off, that you were just like drunk the whole day. And like, that's so
personal.
awkward and personal and none of anybody's business.
Oh
What
my
I do
God.
to mourn, and this was my best friend. So anyway, you know the craziest part about this story?
Oh God, what?
Years later, I started streaming. I stopped working there, but my close friend B still worked there for many, many years to come until he moved to Vancouver. This girl would come up to him because back then I had Instagram. She'd be like, I'm so proud of Matara. She is killing it. I always knew she had it in you. She's such a little go-getter. No. And he would look at her and be like, you're crazy. Like you, and he would tell this to me. And I remember at that time, like she would look at my stories and nowadays, and I don't know if she's watching this podcast, but if you are, Kate, you know who you are, girl. That's crazy talk.
Oh
That's
my
crazy stuff to me. I'm
God.
telling you, she would go to him and be like, wow, I'm so proud of my girl. Like that's my girl over there. She's a fighter. What do you mean?
Fighter
That's
because
my girl
you made
over
me
there.
fight. I was fighting you.
Oh my God, do you remember that Christina Aguilera song? Thanks for making me fighter.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe run a little bit faster. So,
Stronger. Yeah.
but so it ended up kind of, and I'm not saying that everyone's life is going to work out. If people are mean to you, sometimes they're just like mean and there's no saving them. But in my life, this random like bartender being mean to me ended up in me having one of my closest friends to this day. We don't talk as much. We didn't have a fight. It's just, life took us different ways. But he was one of the best friends, the kindest, the sweetest, like showed me so much about friendship. And like for years I would just go back and like see him again at work. And it's just crazy to me that I wonder sometimes in life, like if I could go into this person's head and be like, what did you think about this situation? Like, does she think back at it as like, wow, my really good friend, I'm so proud of her? Or does she look back at it like, yeah, I told everyone her business
Maybe.
that she trusted me with?
Yeah, and she knew
wonder
that
about
people
that.
were using it against you too.
She was embarrassing me on purpose.
Uh,
And the worst part too is like, the waiter that she told stuff to, like she would flirt with him. That's why that kind of started happening. But like he would never help her out. She would every time, like he was supposed to give her 2% of his tips. Let's say he sold like 1,200. He'd basically try and like give her like a 20. He's supposed to give her 24 clearly. And to me, if I sold 1,200, I'd be like, girl, here's a 50. Like we killed it today. That's my girl. I'm making so much money. She's making so much money. And it's just crazy. That's why, now that you know this is why I'm so like, I don't want anybody in my business. If I grow with, like when I find somebody that I can grow with, I grow with them, but I'm so picky.
no, I get it. Oh my gosh. And that's so messed up though that she would just tell everybody, oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I get wanting to be so.
But this is why now I'm so aware of like, I have this like thing now where I don't want to say I test people, but like I tell people something that's kind of embarrassing. That's kind of real. That is real. I don't lie, but but I'll tell them a real story. And then if they talk about it, I instantly will be like, okay, not my person. If they cannot hold this, not my person.